Bhagavatam Srīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminithi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Bhutairmahadvirma Puruvidu Nirmaya Shete Yatamisha Purusha Bhukte Gunan Shodashatmaka Solam Trisishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me Shri Krishna Sharanagatam Katham Vitam Satatapipatam Bhakti with the glorification of Srīmad Bhāgavatam. These two verses, text number 5 and 6, we see how when Vyasadeva sat esteemed, absorbed in Krishna, then what his experiences were. So text number 4, we see that thus he, Vyasadeva, fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism, and thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under full control. So as I was meditating on these verses and rereading Prabhupada's purport, I realized that how important it is to be cognizant of our own situation and atmosphere, that the material energy of the Lord is also important to be aware of. Now, we consciously don't need to be aware of it, but we always have to be in check. What is that check? That in this material world, if there's anything of any value, but if that value in our minds is not in connection with the Lord, then that is Lord's external energy. And it will act always to bewilder us and smash us again and again. And in the next verse, the experience continues. Sudha Goswami explains, due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. So when we become implicated in the material energy of the Lord, not recognizing that the material energy is connected with the Lord, and when we are not connected with Krishna, Vimukha, Prahlad Maharaj explains that, oh my Lord, I'm not fearful of undergoing the cycle of birth and death. He says, Naivo dvije paraduratyaya vaitaranyas, that I do not desire to cross this duratya, this very insurmountable ocean, the river Vaitaranya. Naivodvije paraduratyaya vaitaranyas. Why? Because Tadviryagayana Mahamrita Magna Chitta, because I am already absorbed in singing your glories, Viryagayana, Mahamrita, and it is a great nectar, greatest nectar, fully absorbed, Magna Chitta with means fully absorbed. Now it is important to understand our state of existence. You know, nowadays, even in modern day, you know, this being aware, being self-aware, or things like mindfulness in yoga, that is very, very prominent. People are, attracted to such organizations who say things about living present. I remember, when I was going through some difficult time, then my Guru Maharaj told me this verse, which is from Gita Mahatmya. It says that Gate Shoko na Kartavya, that do not lament about the past, and Bhavishyet na Chintayet, do not be anxious about the future. Vartamaneshu Khaleshu, live in the present. Pravishyante vipashyataha. Such a person who can live in present, he actually is a true seer and is truly living. Otherwise, my Guru Maharaj used to say, Bhutakal means we are like ghost. Bhavishyakal means we are just running and endeavoring. So it is said that when material creation happens, then the first element that is created, anyone knows what is the first element that is created by Mahavishnu? It is time. It is a time factor. So in the material world, the time factor has three phases: past, present, and future. And associated with the three phases of time are three resultant experiences. The experiences of past is associated with Sochati. Sochati means lamentation. We lament. This happened to me when I was 10 years of age. When I was 14, this happened. When I was 18, this happened. I thought I'd be happy, but when I was 20, this incident happened. Everything so far in my life has happened bad. This is Sochati or lamentation, shoka. And then we are always conscious about future. We are planning, I'll do this, I'll mitigate this situation, I'll be like this, I'll be like that, and I'll attain so much wealth. I will fix my material situation very nicely, make all the arrangements. However, things don't work out as we plan. And in this whole situation, we miss the present. Now, what is the beauty of bhakti, devotional service? Anyone, as far as time factor is concerned?
By serving Krishna. That's the beauty by serving Krishna.
Yes, so we're serving Krishna. That's the beauty of devotional service. However, in terms of time factor,
Prabhu, the time expands when we are doing bhakti.
Yes, time expands. But
and the effect is eternal, Prabhu. The bhakti, the benefit is eternal.
Yes, the benefit is eternal. What else? Anyone?
It keeps us in the present. We are doing it consciously now.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. This is the exact answer that I was looking for. That when we are doing devotional service, Narad Muni says in Narad Bhakti Sutra, Phala Rupa Evatat. Devotional service, it's its own fruit. We don't have to work and then wait for the fruit. And when we do devotional service, that time is devotional time. And in that time, actually, there is no time. We cannot feel the existence of time. And in the spiritual world, that is the main thing. As I said, the time is absence by its conspicuousness. And at that time, actually, we are truly experiencing bliss. Many of you are chanting very nicely for many years, many decades, and you will have this experience. When we are chanting, but we are thinking of the past, then our chanting is not blissful. Our chanting drags on. Our chanting becomes a burden. When we are chanting and we are thinking about the future or planning about the future, even if it may be related to devotional service, even then the chanting is just absent-minded. The chanting is in anxiety. However, those moments where our chanting is neither in the past nor in the future, but at present absorbing at each syllable of Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And that moment is actually blissful. And we find that the time has basically stopped. And then when the chanting finishes, then we can have this vision where we can see, we can be a witness that how everything is working around us, how modes of nature are operating, how people are reacting, and how we ourselves are part of this whole play. And then we try to act our part by always being conscious of Krishna. Therefore, it is very important to be cognizant of this fact that we are in the material world. We cannot escape material energy. But being esteemed in devotional service, it extricates us from the reactions of the material energy, which is shoka, lamentation, and when we're thinking of future, moha, bewilderment. And these two situations give us fear, bhaya. And in the next few verses, we see how when one is situated firmly in Krishna consciousness, then because they are living in the present, vartamane su kale su pravasyante pravishyante vichakshat chitaha, then such a person actually is a true seer and can experience true love of Krishna in form of chanting his names and Srīmad Bhāgavatam. So in mode of passion, one is always hankering for future. I will get this, I will get this, I will get this. In mode of ignorance, always lamenting the past. In mode of goodness, always being in calmness and state of equilibrium. However, if we don't utilize that mode of goodness in doing direct devotional service, so here Vyasadeva is explained, he did direct devotional service, direct linking process. Thus he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism. So devotional service without reliance on karma, fruitive activities, jnana, mental speculation, that will actually allow us to live in present and be not be conspicuous of the awareness of time. And as Sakya Prabhu mentions, basically eternity. So where did we, it was a long purport, text number 5. Can someone read from where we left off? So I think it was within the heart of every, within the heart of every living entity. Okay, I'll just read. Within the heart of every living being, the Lord himself as Super Soul Paramatma, becomes the spiritual master, and from without he becomes the spiritual master in the shape of scriptures, saints, and the initiator spiritual master. So basically Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So the Lord manifests himself as the spiritual master within and without, as Chaitya Guru, as Shastra, as Siksha Gurus, and as initiating spiritual master, Diksha Guru. This is still more explicitly explained in the next shloka. Personal superintendence of the illusory energy is confirmed in the Vedas, the Kena Upanishad, in relation to the demigod's controlling power. Herein also it is clearly stated that the living entity is controlled by the external energy in a personal capacity. So the Lord is always in charge. In the 9th chapter, the Lord says, Maya Dyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam, that under my superintendence, Adhyaksha, Aksha means my vigilance, my vision, and under my control, the whole material nature, both along with Chara, the moving living entities, and Achara, the non-moving, they are under my full control. Maya Adhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunaneva Kaunteya Jagat Viparivartate. There is no other hetu, no other cause beyond my control. So the Lord is always in control, both directly and indirectly. The living beings, thus subject to the control of external energy, is differently situated. It is clear, however, from the present statement of Bhāgavatam, that the same external energy is situated in the inferior position before the personality of Godhead or the perfect being. So Krishna in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita mentions, I think it was Bhavani Mataji who was mentioning that when we read Srila Prabhupada's purports, we see that almost every sentence of Srila Prabhupada is a direct translation or a direct purport of a verse in scripture, of Vedas, of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. And here we see the same thing. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter says, Bhumi apanalo vayu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankaram iti yamme bhinnam prakritirashtada. That there are 8 material energies, 5 gross and 3 subtle. However, superior than that, there is the superior prakriti, the living entities, jiva bhutan. And the same thing Prabhupada is mentioning here in the paper. The perfect being or the Lord cannot be approached even by the illusory energy, who can only work on the living entities. Therefore, it is sheer imagination that the Supreme Lord is illusioned by the illusory energy and thus becomes a living being. This is what Mayavadis say, that the Lord's form is material and is subject to illusion. If the living being and the Lord were in the same category, then it would have been quite possible for Vyasadeva to see it, and there would have been no question of material distress on the part of the illusion being, for the Supreme Being is fully cognizant. So there are so many unscrupulous imaginations on the part of monists to endeavor to put both the Lord and the living being in the same category. Had the Lord and the living beings been same, then Shukadeva Goswami would not have taken the trouble to describe the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, for they would all be manifestations of illusory energy. So this is the philosophy of Madhvacharya. Basically, that the Lord is always one and the living entities are different. So it's always two. The living entities can never become the Lord. The living entities at best can become Akshara. But apart from Akshara, there is Purushottama, who is higher than both the conditioned living being, Shara, and the liberated living entity, Akshara. In 15th chapter, Krishna says, Yasmat Shara Atito Ham, because I am superior or higher than the perfect living beings, Akshara. Yasmat Shara Atito Ham, fallible living entity, the conditioned living entity. Yasmat Shara Atito Ham, Akshara Apichottamaha, and those who are infallible, the perfect living entities, Akshara Apichottama, I'm even superior to them. Cha Uttama, I'm Uttama to them. Therefore, Atosmi Loke Vede Cha Pratitaha Purushottamaha. Therefore, in all the three worlds and Vedas, I am celebrated as Purushottamaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada continues in the purport. Srīmad Bhāgavatam is the summum bonum, remedy for suffering humanity in the clutches of Maya. Srila Vyasadeva, therefore, first of all, diagnosed the actual disease of the conditioned souls, that is, their being illusioned by the external energy. He also saw the perfect Supreme Being, from whom the illusory energy is far removed, though he saw both the diseased conditioned souls and also the cause of the disease. So the diseased conditioned souls are who?
Us?
And how do you classify us, Mataji?
Because we are here in this world.
So Prahlad Maharaj says, Soche tato vimukachetasa indriyartha maya bharam maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudhan. That Soche, I lament for those living entities, vimukha chetasa, whose consciousness is vimukha, is removed or devoid of Krishna consciousness. Why? Just for the purpose of indriyartha, sense gratification, engaging in material energy to extract happiness. Soche tato vimukachetasa indriyartha. And in this way, what they are doing? Maya sukhaya bharam. The illusory happiness, the burden of illusory happiness they are carrying on their shoulders. This is what the living entities are doing. The burden of illusory happiness. What is that burden? Oh, I'll do this, I'll be happy in future. I'll do this, I'll be happy in future. I'll do that, I'll be happy in future. I get a house, I'll be happy in future. I'll get married, I'll be happy in future. When we're children, if I can only get that toy, I'll be happy forever. If I marry this person, I'll be happy forever. And that bharam, that burden we are carrying on our shoulders, but it is just illusory. Maya sukhaya. And that is the only illusory happiness we can experience. Udvahato vimudhan. So Prahlad Maharaj calls such person fools number one, Prabhupada would say. However, if we just presently chant Hare Krishna, then we are living a life of fullness, a life of present in touch with Krishna. We are not vimukha from Krishna, we are in association with Krishna. So he also saw the perfect Supreme Being, from whom illusory energy is far removed, though he saw both disease conditioned souls and also the cause of the disease. So what is the cause of the disease again?
illusion, Maya?
Yes, but in practical terms, what does it make us do? Like
Is it
that.
our desires, Prabhu?
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Is it our desires?
Yes, desires, and what Prahlad Maharaj says, I just quoted in that verse, Soche tato vimukha chetasa, we go separate, vimukha from Krishna. For what reason? Indriyartha. What does that mean?
Due to sense gratification.
Yes, exactly. We become allured by sense objects, and our senses, they fall down and indulge in the lower natures, the lower parts of our existence. And that is how we become illusion, Maya Sukhaya Bharam. And we think that this will make us happiness, but it is just illusionary happiness. And this burden we are carrying on our shoulders. And Prahlad Maharaj therefore says, I lament for these living entities, and I wish to remain amongst them and give them Krishna consciousness and show them the right path. So the cause of the disease is us being separate from Lord and trying to enjoy through the senses. And the diseased condition is that we are separate from the Lord. We consider ourselves or behave in a separatist mentality. Both the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living beings are undoubtedly qualitatively one, but the Lord is the controller of the illusory energy, whereas the living entity is controlled by the illusory energy. We think we are in control, but actually we are controlled by the illusory energy of the Lord. Thus, the Lord and the living beings are simultaneously one and different. Another point is distinct herein, that eternal relation between the Lord and the living being is transcendental. Otherwise, the Lord would not have taken the trouble to reclaim the conditioned souls from the clutches of Maya. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Jiva mama amsha jiva loka jiva bhota sanatana. That this jiva is mine. He claims it. But the jiva is struggling along with five senses, including mind, when he's indulging in material nature. In the same way, the living entity is also required to revive his natural love and affection for the Lord. And that is the highest perfection of the living entity. Srīmad Bhāgavatam treats the conditioned soul with the aim to that goal of life. So we all can be happy in our natural state of love and affection for the Lord. And that is the highest stage of perfectional existence. And the punchline of the last sentence of this purport is, Srīmad Bhāgavatam treats the conditioned souls with an aim to that goal of life. So the Srīmad Bhāgavatam is that medicine, that aushadhi. In, I think, the 10th canto, 1st chapter, 4th verse, very nicely, Shukadeva Goswami, I think he says, or is it Parikshit Maharaj, I'm not sure, but he says, Nivritta Tarshai Rupagiyamana Bhavo Shadat Shotra Mano Virama Kauttama Shloka Gunanuvada Pumam Virajyed Vina Pashubna. That Nivritta Tarshai, those who are already liberated, don't have material desires, they can relish Srīmad Bhāgavatam. And for those who are suffering due to material attachment in this material world, for them Srīmad Bhāgavatam, what is that? Bhavo Shadat Shotra Mano Virama. It acts as aushadhi. Aushadhi means medicine. Bhavo Shadat. Shotra. And when we hear, immediately we will feel manobhirama. We will experience pleasure in our minds. And therefore, ka uttama shloka gunanuvada. Who is there who will not be willing to give reception to Srīmad Bhāgavatam? And very sarcastically, he says in the last line, Pumam virachyeta vina pashogna. Only a person who is the killer of animal and killer of his own soul will be committing such suicidal act of not hearing Srīmad Bhāgavatam. So time is up. We have run over time. Key message: let's not kill ourselves. Let's not commit spiritual suicide or even material suicide. Srīmad Bhāgavatam will actually save us from killing ourselves. Srīmad Bhāgavatam is actual living in present. Thank you so much, Prabhus and Matajis. We'll continue tomorrow with text number 6. So please try to memorize text number 6 and 7. And Krishna willing, we'll have opportunity, everyone can decide. Jai Grantaraj Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Have a
Hare Krishna,
wonderful
Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu.
Dash Prabhu ki jai.